The third part of learning to engage and activate our deep core is using our abdominal muscle portion of our deep core, and that's our transverse abdominis. This muscle wraps around us like a corset. So from our sternum to our pubic bone, it's a sheet of muscle that wraps around all the way to our low back. So its function is just to kind of hug us. We don't move our body when this muscle comes in. Its goal is to create tension across our abdomen like a tough sheet so that our arms and our legs can move efficiently. If we don't have good tension through here, we'll feel a little wobbly, a little disconnected, and then we can't be as forceful, as athletic, as efficient with our arms and our legs. So in our deep core breath that we're used with every core connection movement and before every exertion with an exercise, we start with breathing. Inhale to expand. Exhale, pursed lips. First is pelvic floor, second is deep core. Exhale, and it pulls in, okay? So here's how we know if we are pulling in that deep core. First, we have to find the muscle. Use 2 fingers on either side of your hip bones. Here's the pointy part of my hips. I go right inside. That's the only place we can really feel these muscles because they're deep to things like our 6-pack muscles and our obliques. So those muscles run over top of them. So we feel here, and then think about as you exhale, pulling in the lower belly, like you're zipping up a tight pair of jeans. Some people also can feel it more when they exhale and feel like they're wrapping their hip bones together in the front. Another great cue that I love is as you exhale, think about someone tickling you that you don't want to in the front, and you pull in really quickly, like it's like a snap back of that abdominal wall, okay? So let's use 2 fingers on either side. We can try this a few different ways. So let's inhale, exhale, pelvic floor, pull those hip bones together for lower abdominals. Inhale, expand. Exhale, pelvic floor. Someone's tickling your abdominals, pull in. Inhale, expand. Exhale, pelvic floor. And zip up that tight pair of jeans. Okay, so you should feel tension across your entire abdomen. There are 2 ways that people kind of compensate through this, or they're not getting that coordination correctly, maybe because they've done it forever that way, or maybe it's just postpartum. And that is that they first exhale and they clench their upper abdominals. See how nothing is supported down here. That puts a cinch in the middle of our tube of toothpaste and pushes pressure out on maybe a healing abdominal wall. If you have abdominal separation, that's gonna push pressure out. Maybe you've seen doming or coning, or push pressure down on a healing pelvic floor and may cause things like urinary leakage or pelvic pressure like prolapse. So you may be cinching here, which is why I want you to bend over in that figure 4 or over a tabletop to fully relax this muscle. If you're having that issue, that's how we're gonna work on it first. The other way is that people are bearing down. So it's actually pushing out when they should be pulling in. Okay, so if you're doing that, that's the same coordination that you need to have a bowel movement. We don't want to be pushing down all the time like we're having a bowel movement. That can cause leakage and prolapse as well. Okay, so if you're having that issue, let's try in a child's pose or in that deep squat position because we want that full pelvic floor relaxation. So here we are using this, especially in the first 2 weeks of core connection, to really get this down. That inhale, expand. Exhale, pull in pelvic floor. Zip up lower, zip up upper. I shouldn't have to see any of this crunching to get it. I should be able to maintain my ribs over my pelvis and pull in my lower abdominals and my pelvic floor. It may be easier for you in a few different positions. Start in that position first. Start with success so your body can learn this coordination. If you're having issues with core connection movements, stick with the movements where you're having success so your body can utilize that. Also realize only try like a 25 to 50% contraction here. You'll need more of that contraction. Your body will naturally kind of harness that contraction if we're doing more things like a heavy lift overhead. We need more tension than to control our body. Or standing up at a deadlift, we need more tension than for our low back to be supported. But if we're like reaching back or anything like that, then we need just a little bit of tension to allow flexibility and mobility. Okay, so this tension is created by the muscle contracting and then also the connective tissue. So we want the muscle to get stronger as our connective tissue is naturally healing over the next couple months, which is why you continue to do core connections for a few months because our tissue continues to change. It's not just the first 6 weeks.